It's time for a rundown on some of our national headlines for this Tuesday morning. It is May 16th, 2017. And as always, we have more stories than we have time to give you in this video format. Therefore, I urge you to become a subscriber at radiofreespeech.com, and you'll get 30 to 40 minutes audio delivered directly to your inbox every morning by 5 a.m., which means you'll have an opportunity to download it to your iPod and listen to the news on your way to work. There is a prison in Syria where mass executions have been going on intermittently between 2011 and 2016, according to human rights groups. Now the United States says that they've built a crematorium there to hide the killings, that they basically have just been burning the bodies, and that's why there's no proof of these mass killings. There was an air raid in an ISIS-held town in Syria that killed some 23 civilians. Those on the ground saying they were U.S. or coalition aircraft. The United States denying that any such raid occurred. With the WannaCry ransomware, you may have heard about that big attack on Friday. They were expecting more to happen on Monday. It wasn't as big as they feared, and cybersecurity people are saying, please do not pay the ransom. Meanwhile, it has come forward that this was actually a part of the National Security Agency with the creation of a program to backdoor to get into some people's devices. And that technology was released on the internet by hackers, and that was what was then used to hack and create the ransomware. So Microsoft has issued a patch against the very U.S. intelligence agency developed software that was used to hack in the first place. There you have it. On the Nigerian situation, Boko Haram has killed some farmers. They're saying that Boko Haram is relatively spent as a military organization. However, these random attacks on civilians are still widespread and still a big, real threat. Edward Snowden and others are urging Trump to drop his case against Julian Assange. This after Jeff Sessions, the new Attorney General, has said that they're going to make this Assange case a priority. Well, that has inspired a number of people to sign an open letter basically saying, look, if you go after people for publishing stories that you don't like, you are killing the idea of a free press. And that's basically what they're saying that WikiLeaks was. It was the publishing of a story. Now, another murder in Baltimore. In this particular case, it was really heartbreaking because there was a toddler left in the car after her father was killed, and the police didn't even open the car, didn't realize the baby was in there for a full hour after the murder. It wasn't until one of the officers noticed a whimpering coming from inside the car that they finally opened the car and got the baby out. And we've got a movement from Saudi Arabia, a preacher asking FIFA, and that's the governing body of soccer around the world, to ban the practice of making Christian symbols after people have scored or made a really good play. You know, the typical kind of thing you see in most sports where people make the sign of the cross or get down and raise their hands as if in prayer. And he's wondering why such practice is not banned. And there's, once again, more stories than we have time for, but one last one is that an activist in Britain, part of a group called Cage, and basically they are challenging the British laws that give the police not just the ability, but the right to demand people's passwords for their devices, even without any kind of criminal suspicion. Well, one of the activists now is facing charges for not giving up his passwords. So they're going to be pushing the issue in the courts. That's what we've got for our national news. Scan my commentary today, focusing on the issue of voter ID laws. This is something going on in North Carolina, and what the big deal really is. Check me out at Patreon and, of course, at my website, radiofreespeech.com. Thanks.